Warning: Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
If we were white, if we were Irish, if we were Jewish, if we were Poles, if we had, in fact, in your mind, a frame of reference, our heroes would be your heroes too. Nat Turner would be a hero for you instead of a threat. Malcolm X might still be alive. And everyone is very proud of brave little Israel, a state against which I have nothing. I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm not an anti-Semite. But when the Israelis pick up guns, or the Poles, or the Irish, or any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like, share, and hype button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click the link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Also, hit that other link down there. Join the Telegram group to help circumvent the whole shadow banning that PukeTube has been doing as of recently. Now, family, happy Monday to you all. This will be your Magite Monday news. We got to talk about some of the things that the Magites have been doing and some of the things that's been happening in the Magite world. I played that James Baldwin situation because I love when he spoke about if we were different, if we were like them, our heroes would be like their heroes. And if they were more like us, our heroes would be heroes to them as well. And that's really a key thing in this whole broadcast today, really, is you really shouldn't hold too much weight on any of these people, because all of these people are degenerates, period. And a lot of folks love to try to look at us as if we're the most degenerate out of them all. Well, the fact of the matter is, that's not only opposite of the truth, but the truth be staring them blindly in the face and they refuse to say anything about it. So we're going to get into some of that truth here today. We're definitely going to get into some of that truth here today. Before we do, let me go ahead and scroll up and give my B1 Shalom salute, certified salutes to our good brother, Allah Solution in the building. Shout out to you and Chi-Town in the building. Much love to you. Our sister Hurricane Nisi in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen. Thank you for being here. Shout out to our sister Mrs. C. Phillip Davis in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Frontline Black News is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, family. Our sister Sybil is in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here as well. Our sister Star Tate Jones is in the building. Much love to you, my sister, and thank you for being here. Our good brother Jesse Paris is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, family, as well as our good brother Black RU in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Thank you for being here. Wanna make sure. Our sister Cooking with Miss D is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Our sister says, hey, church, first Sunday was a short one for Easter. Now, first Sundays usually are shorter because, I'm doing more of an interview style broadcast rather than a presentation style broadcast. So, yeah, the first Sundays are always shorter. you know. But yes, I saw you notice that, you know. And we got to talk about something that happened yesterday as well. Shout out to our good brother Jay and Von Doom in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, as well as Hebrew Native in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, as well as Rael in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, as well as our good brother Cool Keezy in the building. Much love to you, my good brother, and thank you for being here. Robert Taylor in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, family. And I got to give a special shout out to our good brothers, Iron Will and our good brother, Black Truth United, who are not in the chat, but I know who are in the chat. So shout out to you guys, shout out to you both, good family. Much love to you. And thank you all for being here. And thank everybody who isn't in the chat, but is actually in the broadcast. So much love to all of y'all who's watching as well, who hasn't said anything in the chat, and everybody who's going to catch this on the replay. Much love to each and every one of you. Now, with that being said, family, let's start off with this first story. This right here is a doozy. This right here is a doozy. Shout out to our good brother Red Joker for the first couple of articles we're going to go through, or the first couple of clips we're going to go through, excuse me. AKA our good brother, I report racists and pedos. Let's go here.
We are learning more today about a disturbing arrest out of Atlantic County. A pre-K teacher's aide is charged with sexually abusing multiple children over a 10-year span. New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman is live in Summers Point with why authorities are concerned there could be more victims. Good evening, Trish.
Hi, Tamala. Yeah, we spoke to parents at that school in Woodbine who are also very concerned. Now, the allegations detailed in the court documents that we received today are extremely concerning and disturbing. Sean Stebbins was arrested on Sunday, and he's accused of abusing 4 siblings over a period of 10 years. 43-year-old Sean Stebbins of Summers Point, an elementary school teacher's aide, is charged with sexual assault of a child, photographing a child in a sex act, and more. Court documents detailed disturbing allegations of abuse in his home from 2014 to 2025. Authorities say one of the now adult victims came forward last week, which led to the discovery of 3 more victims, all siblings.
Persons who commit these type of acts put themselves in positions to have access to children, and it's exactly what happened in this particular case.
Authorities say Stebbins has worked as a pre-kindergarten teacher's aide at Woodbine Elementary School since 2022, and they're very concerned there could be more victims.
We really need to be vigilant, and if the parents are notified by their children, the parents, we would request immediately call local law enforcement where they live.
Action News obtained this memo the school sent to parents today, explaining Stebbins was contracted through the vendor ESS. It says in part, quote, upon being informed of the arrest, the district immediately requested a replacement aide. The safety and well-being of our students remain our highest priority.
I just went to my son and asked him about, if you know the teacher, I showed him the picture, and he said yes.
Emmanuel Rios has 3 children at Woodbine Elementary, 1 in the pre-K program.
They got to investigate. We need to know what happened, because it's concerning. I mean, there's a lot of kids with disabilities there.
We have reached out to that vendor ESS and we have not heard back today. Stebbins is locked up in the Atlantic County Jail pending a detention hearing that is scheduled for Monday. He does not have an attorney listed. We're live in Summers Point, New Jersey. Trish Hartman, Channel 6, Action News. Sarah.
So disturbing and upsetting for all those parents. Trish, thank you.
A B1 salute to our sister Honey Brown Sugar in the building, as well as Yaya Israel in the building. Much love to you all and thank you all for being here, family. We talking about deviant behavior. These are the people that are your Christians. These are the people who are supposed to be your high IQs. This man was running around here. They said 4 siblings over the span of 10 years. 4 siblings. That is, as a parent, I don't know what I would do if I ever found that out. Not just one of your children, but 4 of your children. Oh man, that right there is beyond me. It is beyond me. And I want to know, how in the hell didn't you or weren't you able to tell anything, or your children didn't tell you nothing? 4 of your children went through this. Our sister Hurricane Nisi said the Nabisco and Christian does not go together, oxymoronic, and you are absolutely correct. Like we say, the what they practice is not Christianity. They put on Christianity like they put on religions, just like they put on political parties. They will take off a political party with the quickness, and they will do the same thing with religion, and then act as if, oh, they're the most purest creatures to walk this planet. And yet, time after time after time after time after time, we keep getting these stories. And what does that tell you? That tells you that Epstein wasn't the exception. He's more like the rule. Oh, yeah. That's the hard part that Nabiscos hate to really hone in on. It isn't really just Epstein. You don't have to have billions of dollars. It's your everyday brother. It's your everyday sister. It's your everyday auntie, uncle, cousin. Exactly. That's culture. You know, 1 or 2 may be an anomaly, but when you got all the statistics out there saying that, yeah, this isn't a 1 or 2 thing, that just goes to show that that's a part of that culture. A B1 salute to Yaya Israel. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution. As always, good sister, keep up the good work, and I appreciate you for appreciating it, my sister. Thank you very much. Now, if that wasn't sickening enough, this next story is just as deviant, just as sickening, just as pathetic. Let's go here, family. And shout out once again to our good brother Red Joker, because he blotted out the damn dog's face. But you know where this is going.
Closer to home, a Prescott Valley woman is sentenced to prison for sex crimes involving children and a service dog.
She has been ordered to serve 52 years in prison, and we have to warn you, the details are very graphic. Officials say that is 45-year-old Kelly Ray Smith. She made comments online about molesting children she babysat. She was also seen in videos sexually assaulting a toddler and performing sex acts with a service dog. Police also uncovered child porn videos and internet chats discussing fantasies involving kids. Smith pleaded guilty to all of the charges.
In a statement, Yavapai County Attorney Dennis McCrane says, quote, crimes such as these are shocking and will never be tolerated in Yavapai County. People who choose to sexually abuse children or animals are incredibly dangerous and cannot be reformed. I hope this case motivates the Arizona legislature to allow juries to impose the death penalty in cases where an adult sexually assaults a child. Doing so would allow appropriate punishment for anyone who chooses to rape a child and will deter others from committing these heinous crimes.
Family, 52 years is way too good for her. 52 years is way too good for her. Not only are you out here being a pedo, a sicko at that, you had to add on somebody who participates within bestiality. Like, what is... These people have no room to talk about anybody. And I do mean anybody. Whenever anybody is brought up, in any type of discussion about being disgusting, Nabiscos need to sit this out. Need to sit this the hell out. Shout out to our sister Hurricane Nisi. Serious question, family. What is it about animals, especially dogs, that Nabiscos are so deviant? Miss Nisi, this stems back to their canine animal instinct. Now, remember when they were in the caves, they were walking around on all fours, following after and sleeping with the wolves. So they basically became one family, the wolves and the Nabisco. And that's why some of them are still born with tails until this day. You dig me? But yeah, that followed them from that situation straight out the caves into America homes. Apparently, dogs are looked at as more than human than humans are. And you know how Nabiscos are when it comes to their dogs. This is probably why. Nabiscos are so freaking disgusting that they will go out there and stick their thing in anything that has a pulse. And a lot of the times, many things that don't have pulses. They made a whole movie off of this. Y'all remember American Pie? I have never seen anybody, I don't want to say anybody, but I've never seen black folk anywhere do any of the things that these folks have done. Like I said, that cave mentality. We thought we were civilizing the uncivilized, and turns out that the uncivilized are just hiding their deviant behavior, basically. Shout out the Hula Gang in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as King Young Lynn in the building. Much love to you, as well as Classy K in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Certified NC in the building, as well as our sister queen Anita Harrell. Much love to all of you, and thank you all for being here. Now, family, let's move out of the more sickening area and let's talk about James Fishbach, because he's back at it. No pun intended. So James Fishbach is back at it, and I got to give a shout out to Tori and Rain, because this afternoon's video that he dropped is what turned me on to this, because this had skipped over my radar. James Fishbach is out here calling for black men to get lynched just because he didn't like the way that he was approached by said black men. Let's go here, family.
So, Mr. Fishbach, what's with use matching a 16 or 17-year-old? Can you answer about what's going on with that?
What are you talking about?
Now, on the first go of me talking about James Fishbach, it was a little while ago, I actually reported that he had this case with the young girl that a lot of folks is keeping an eye on him about. And now it's getting brought back to the light because, he's getting, the election is getting closer and closer. And even though he's losing, he's clearly losing, they're bringing this stuff out to the light. Like we said, we already expected this to happen. Like, God dang it, you was dealing with a 17-year-old. What do you think is going to happen? The same thing that's going to happen if, God dang it, Ron DeSantis take his ass and try to run for president. It's going to come out once again that he was getting drunk with 14 and 15-year-old teenagers and things like that. So this is Ron DeSantis, Florida, we're talking about here. But let's continue.
All right, so there's like a girl named Kenya Ford, and apparently I have not talked to her. I haven't talked to a single Epstein victim either. I've never talked to Kanye West, but I know he's a real person too. Never talked to Trump, I know he's a real person.
Sure,
so tell me about Kenya Ford, bro. Why is she saying that you guys slept together when she was 17 and you were 27?
When did she say that?
She said it in court.
In court?
In court, yeah. Before you ran for office.
I'm glad it was in court. What happened? What did the judge say at the end of that court? He dismissed that. It was 7 hours of testimony. You should know that when
it was about cyber stalking, not about smashing when she was a minor. Hey, bro,
listen.
Hey, bro. Why is he not answering the question, bro?
I'm happy to answer the question, dude.
Did you smash? Was it missionary? Back shots? What was it?
That was a wild question. That was a wild question when speaking about a minor, but I guess it met the purpose, you know. Shoot, it got him right where he wanted him to be. He fell into the trap. He took the cheese like the rat he is.
I don't want you ever speaking about women in our state like that ever again.
I mean, I don't want you ever smashing girls, teenage girls in our state ever again. So promise me, never smash a minor again.
Why haven't I been arrested?
I don't know.
Why haven't I been arrested?
I don't know.
You should
Why
be
hasn't
lynched.
Trump been?
You should be lynched.
I should be lynched.
You should be lynched. Hold up.
No.
Why haven't I been arrested?
I don't know.
You should
Why
be
hasn't
lynched.
Trump been?
You should be lynched.
I should be lynched.
And they cut it off right there. Now, let me pull this down. Because, family, this is why, another reason why I say, don't jump your ass off of one plantation and try to run your ass to the other plantation. And don't you be sitting there platforming these kind of people just because you like the way they sound or they speaking in foundational Black American rhetoric. It is easy to mimic us. It is easy to tune into the new Black media. Happy New Black Media Appreciation Month, by the way. It's easy to tune into us to see what we're saying and see what rhetoric is going on within the new Black media, and so that they can write it on down and get in front of Black people and then start running their gums as if they really care about us. When in all actuality, it isn't that they care about us, it's that they need us. And yet they don't want to give us what we are demanding in order for them to even get our vote. And that's exactly what James did. James ain't talking about giving foundational Black Americans for anything for our vote. He's not talking about doing anything for their community over there. He's not talking about anything like that. All he did was listen to us and then get platformed by Black podcasters and things like that, and then start spewing the same rhetoric that we spew. And really, it's not that hard because we don't spew rhetoric in that sense. We spew it as true. We spew truth, and they take it and use it as rhetoric. That's a more proper way to say it. We're speaking our truth. They're using our truth as their rhetoric. So nobody, and I said that when I brought James Fishbach to the forefront. Nobody in Florida should be giving that man a vote. I don't like Byron Donalds either. Screw Byron Donalds straight up the, you know what, pause. Let me, yeah, I gotta clean that up, pause.
We can't keep doing this shit, man.
That was crazy.
For sure.
I don't even know what to say.
My point is, it's damn Byron Donalds. I do not like him, but I do not suggest that you go and vote for either one of these buffoons. And luckily enough for all of you out there in Florida, you have more than two choices. This is if this isn't proof enough, and this dude was pissed the hell off too. Let me go back here. Hold on. Let's pull this back up here. You could tell that he's seething. It was all he could stand, and he couldn't stand no more.
In court, what happened? What did the judge say at the end of that court? He dismissed that. It was 7 hours of testimony. You should know that when
it was about
goes
cyber
court,
stalking, not about smashing when she was a minor. Hey, bro,
listen,
hey, bro, why is he not answering the question, bro?
I'm happy to answer the question, dude.
Did you smash? Was it missionary? Back shots? What was it?
Listen, I don't want you ever speaking about women in our state like that ever again.
I mean, I don't want you ever smashing girls, teenage girls, in our state ever again. So promise me, never smash a minor again.
Why haven't I been arrested?
I don't know.
Why haven't I been arrested?
I don't know.
You should.
Why hasn't Trump been?
That man is seething. He couldn't hold it in his mind. You know what was playing? I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to expose my racism. I think I like it. That's exactly what was going on through his mind. He could not hold himself. Now, I got to give you the unfortunate part, family. This is Ron DeSantis or Ron DeSatan's Florida. Unfortunately, this will probably give him a bump in the polls. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part, family. This is truly the unfortunate part. What he said might just give him a bump in the polls. This is Ron DeSantis's Florida we're talking about here. So if you see him bumped up in the polls within the next couple of days, don't be surprised. The racists are out there thick. And I would not be surprised if they said, okay, yeah, now he's improved that he's our man. He's our guy. Well, what about the PDF allegations? Oh, they're just allegations. Didn't you hear him? The courts threw it out. Why wasn't he in jail? Why wasn't he put in prison? Why wasn't he arrested if he's guilty? Oh, you better believe they're so willing to pick the racist pedophile over anybody else, as long as he is showing himself to be on code with the Nabisco agenda. Now, from one racist PDF to a whole nother racist. Miss Nisi said PDF, it must be a qualifier for white supremacy. Hey, and if it isn't, god dang it, it must be a special merit badge, because it seems like it is putting a lot of them on. Shout out to our good brother Iron Will in the building. A lot of pedos walk free with little no jail time, especially if they have the complexion for the protection. You are absolutely damn right. God dang it, that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to give me a Paul Mooney drop. The complexion for the protection. Shout out to Paul Mooney. Oh, so let's go from James Fishbach over to Pete Hegseth, secretary. There was a hearing that Pete had to attend. And the hearing was on why would the State Department decide to remove the names that are on the different military bases and restore the names to the different Confederates that they were named after. And this man wasn't just doing gymnastics. This dude, he was doing a spiritual rain dance trying to get away from those talking points. He was trying to front flip, back flip. He was doing cartwheels, cannonballs. He was doing all that he could to try to make it seem like it isn't about flat out white supremacy, flat out racism. Let's go here, family. Let's go here.
Why did you decide that these four?
Oh, and B1 salute to our good brother DSA1 in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family.
Or patriots were not worthy enough to have their names on base? Well, Senator, as you know, this was never about the names of the bases they were renamed to.
So
This
you-
is
so
about
you don't- so you don't
restoring
challenge the
all
worthiness-
bases,
you don't-
restoring all
okay.
bases to their original
To the
name, because
Confederate
we're not
names.
about erasing
Okay,
history.
you don't care about their military record. You wanted to restore the Confederate names. When you called the Gregg family to tell them that their dad's name was no longer going to be on the base, what was their reaction?
Senator, the Army notified them of that.
You didn't call any of the families, and I've spoken with the families, and the families were called by the press. That's how they learned about this. They learned about it from the press. You didn't call the Barfoot family, the Gregg family, and you didn't call the Adams family. I told the families I'd ask you about this today. In fact, two of General Gregg's granddaughters, Avery and Sydney, are right here in the audience, and I want to ask you this as I close. While you announced that these brave men and women's names would be stripped from the Virginia bases, no orders to that effect have been received by the base commanders. In light of the patriotic service of Van Barfoot, Arthur Gregg, Charity Adams, and Mary Walker, I'd like to ask you simply not to issue the orders changing the names of these Virginia bases. These families, my Commonwealth, are very proud of these heroes, very satisfied with these names, and ask you not to change them. Will you honor these exemplary patriots and keep their worthy names in places on the bases they loved and where they served?
Senator, we very much thank and appreciate them for their service, and we'll find ways to recognize them, but the orders will soon be going to those bases to change the names back to the original name that never should have been changed.
Mr. Secretary, I'm
family, and shout out to Miss Nisi for this. White supremacists are still pissed about the removal of their Confederate cowards. And you're absolutely correct, my sister. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is how I feel. And this is just me. So I'm speaking for myself when I say this. There should be no descendant of a Confederate allowed to serve in the military. Well, not in the military, but in like any type of high positions of power. So there shouldn't be this type of situation going on. The Confederacy should be treated like the traitors that they god dang are. Because that's exactly what they are. They're a bunch of damn traitors. They were a bunch of people who wasn't for America. They were for dismantling it so that they can stay as powerful as they were. The fact of the matter is this. All of those folks are treated much better than people who get unalived by race soldiers here in America who are black. Let that sink in. None of them folks should be able to serve as senators. They shouldn't be able to serve as representatives. They shouldn't be able to serve in any presidential cabinets. They shouldn't be able to serve anywhere but in the military. If you want to wipe the stain off your family name, the only place that you should be able to serve as a descendant of a Confederate is in the military. And even then, you got a cap on how high you can get. Some people may say that sounds really messed up because, you know, they're not responsible for what their folks did back in the day. It doesn't matter because those are the same people that are sitting there crying about them folks their names being taken off of military bases, their statues being torn down. These are the same folks who are crying over it. Shout out to Cultural Superpower in the building, as well as Snatch Adams. Good brother, much love to you, and thank you for being here. Here go Miss Nisi once again. As you know, church, I am U.S. Army veteran. All branches of the military are breeding grounds for white supremacy, and I agree. I understand that. That is 100% understood. What I'm saying, like these folks, you could tell that they did not, that spirit of Andrew Johnson is running clear as day through these people because don't nobody want to punish these people. They still want to treat these people as if they're not trying to support and, you know, pedestalize god dang insurrectionist terrorist at the end of the day. Traitors. It's that simple. So yeah, if it was me, if I could, I would with one swoop of the pen, I would eliminate any ability for any of these people to be in leadership roles as it is. Like, this is crazy. As Toria Reyes Reloaded always says, they are their clan ancestors. Abso-damn-lutely. Abso-damn-lutely. Shout out to M Flower Noe in the building. Much love to you. And thank you for being here. Not dog catchers too. Yeah. Yeah. We see what they've done to animals with they nasty asses. Yeah. Yeah. That. All that. See, I think that you on a you catching up, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. Shout out to Shorty McGriff in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. This whole government is incompetent. Say that again with your whole chest so people in the back of the room can understand it. This whole damn government is incompetent. No matter what side of the aisle you stand on. And we're the ones having to deal with it. Let's continue.
I'm somewhat puzzled. I grew up in Virginia where Robert E. Lee was revered. I think when I was a kid, his birthday was a school holiday. But as I grew older and learned more about American history, I learned that he fit the classic definition of a traitor. He took up arms against his country. He broke his oath as a member of the United States Army, which he took upon entering his career at West Point. Why are you going through these incredible gymnastics, finding current soldiers or other soldiers to rename? And you slipped a minute ago. You said we're returning these bases to their original names. Robert E. Lee, leading general of the Confederacy, Pickett, the other names. Why are you doing this? I don't understand what the motivation is to rename bases for people who took up arms against their country on behalf of slavery. What possible motivation can there be for this? Who is telling you to do this? Who is urging you to do this?
Senator, the veterans and service members across the country who have deployed from Fort Bragg or Fort Benning or Fort Hood or Fort Pickett, there's a legacy, there's a connection to those bases and to those places, to what they trained for there, what they did for, and what they came home back to. That matters.
Please. Did this man just blame the veterans? Did this man just blame the hard-working men and women of the U.S. military? This man just said, you know what, the veterans, don't you know, they feel good coming back to seeing that after going to go fight for America, they come home and got to come back to a base named after somebody who fought against America, don't you know? It reminds them what they're fighting for, don't you know? This man is off his rocker. But what do you expect? He was picked by Trump. I mean, I don't even know why I expect anything different from this guy or anybody else picked by Trump. Shout out to our good brother, Christopher Ellis. Thank you for your super chat. And thank you for being here, my good brother. Your donation is blessed tenfold. And I appreciate your contributions as always, good brother. Seems like their loyalty is to white supremacy. They call these traitors heroes because of their anti-black terrorism. And you are absolutely correct. The main reason why I played our brother James Baldwin at the beginning of this. These are their heroes. These are the people that they choose to revere. They're not sitting here just, oh, well, this is history. We're getting history removed. And y'all remove history every day of the week when it comes to foundational Black Americans. Don't tell me this is about the preservation of history. You guys keep removing history every chance you get. Every chance you get. So we know for certain, 100% full what this is really about. It's about the loyalty to the system in which you love so much. It's about the loyalty to the system in which keeps you protected. and you're willing to get up here in front of national news cameras and blame the veterans, saying, hey, this is what they want, and of course, since they want it, we're going to give it to them. Well, the veterans said they don't want this war. They didn't want you to go and drop bombs on Iran without even talking to Congress. But that's not here nor there. Don't you know? They wanted me to change the names back to these Confederates. Don't you know? Well, what about let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about these goddamn bases, because they wanted to come home to see traitors' names on a basis in which they fight for in America. Yeah, that's what they wanted, don't you know? Well, I kind of feel like we're walking away from the situation with Iran. Look. The sky is falling because we say so. This is what we're getting from all of these folks. Pure idiocracy. We're living in the movie, ladies and gentlemen. We are in idiocracy. I'm surprised that there isn't a bunch of Gatorade watering the crops. Jesus Christ, these people are crazy. Shout out to our good brother. Thank you for that right there. Shout out to our good brother, Leonard Day Yuta, in the building as well. Much love to you, my good brother. Let's let him continue.
To them, ask enough of them, as I do all the time, before and later. And we recognize the service of those who were put into the replacement. No one's disputing that. I would never dispute that. What we're looking at is erasing history, erasing names, erasing base names that service members are tied to. Talk to people that serve at Bragg. Ask people that serve at Fort Bragg or Fort Benning if they like the fact that the names have been returned. And to a man and to a woman, they will tell you, thank God we're back to Fort Bragg, and thank God we're back. And thankfully, because so many men and women in this country have served, there's a Benning and a Bragg and a Pickett and a Hood has a Silver Star or a Medal of Honor that we could rename the base to because of the limits of what Congress allowed us to do. So this is something we've been proud to do, something that's important for the morale of the Army, and those communities appreciate that we've returned it back to what it was instead of trying to play this game of erasing names.
Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch.
Just the pure idiocracy in this man. It's just, oh my God. It's cringe. These are the people that's in control of the button. I think that's the most infuriating situation. These are the people that are walking around with control over a button that can end it all. Family, this man said the men and the women, go ask the men and the women on those bases. I'm going to be honest with you. Even if the men and the women on those bases agreed with you, I would look at them as if they were the descendants of the Confederates. I would take it as if you must be the descendant of a Confederate if you agree to them restoring this nonsense. Or they're just, practicing their loyalty to, white supremacy. That's what the system calls for. You got to have your blind loyalty. This is what we're seeing out of these folks. These folks are just 100% outwitted, all on the camera, national news. Shout out to our good brother Torian Raines, Reloaded in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Family, let's let this lady respond to him.
You're focusing on renaming bases for Confederate generals. You said just now to Senator King that to a man and to a woman, we would rather be associated with the old Confederate names. Well, I am one of those women. I served at Fort Rucker, Alabama, a base that was named for a traitor who took arms against the United States of America, led troops who killed Americans. It was renamed for Mike Novosel, a Medal of Honor recipient who, in his citation for the Medal of Honor, includes that he saved 29 American lives, to include hovering backwards in a helicopter towards an enemy bunker where a wounded American was laying and saved that person, including after being taken fire himself. I know a little something about what it takes to fly a helicopter when you've been hit by enemy fire. That was heroic. I'd rather be associated with Mike Novosel than a failed Confederate traitor.
Family, shout out to our good brother Antithesis in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother out here supporting. Much love to you, my good brother. Is she American? Well, she must be American. She done served in the military 2 different terms. I just like that they had somebody there to actually call bullshit. Like, that's exactly what the hell she had to do. Like, hold on, you gonna sit here and name the men and women? I was one of them. It kind of felt like a Kamala moment, you know what I mean? When she was talking about being one of the girls off the bus. Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed like. It seemed like it was given that, but it was still funny nonetheless.
Americans. It was renamed from Mike Novosel to be associated with the old Confederate names. Well, I am one of those women. I served at Fort Rucker, Alabama, a base that was named for a traitor who took arms against the United States of America, led troops who killed Americans. It was renamed from Mike Novosel, a Medal of Honor recipient who, in his citation for the Medal of Honor, includes that he saved 29 American lives, to include hovering backwards in a helicopter towards an enemy bunker where a wounded American was laying and saved that person, including after being taken fire himself. I know a little something about what it takes to fly a helicopter when you've been hit by enemy fire. That was heroic. I'd rather be associated with Mike Novosel than a failed Confederate traitor.
And I ain't gonna lie to you. She brings up a valid damn point. God dang it. Who would you rather be associated to as a soldier? You want to be associated to a hero, or do you want to be associated to a damn traitor? I mean, it's mind-numbing. It is 100% mind-numbing that these folks, they try their hardest to try to act like they have these outstanding values and you know, black people are the problem of the United States of America, and all they got to do is act like us and everything will be good. If black people acted like the Nabisco in this goddamn country, there would be no sense to be had here. As King said, a lot of white people have demonstrated elegantly that they ain't got the damn good sense God gave them. And why should we be like that? We shouldn't, family. Hell no. All this goddamn, every time you turn around, you got children being abused. You got animals being abused. A goddamn dog, a service dog who's there to help you out. It's trained to help you out, to make your life easier, not to get back shots. What the hell is wrong with these people? They can't even hold their devious ass behavior. So, am I surprised that Pete is out here stomping hard to keep these traitors and racists all over these? Nope. Because that's what white supremacy does. That's what they do. That's what it is. And even though this Asian lady is talking like how she's talking, I'm gonna be honest with you, it might just all be theater, because you know how they feel about the history in this country too. It don't really matter until it actually hits their front doorstep. You know, they wasn't saying nothing about history being removed for foundational Black Americans. Were they? All of a sudden, 14th Amendment situation happened at the courts, and who do you see come stomping down the aisle? A bunch of damn Asians. Talking about, this is the history of the country. I thought you didn't care about the history. Oh, I see. You only don't care about the history when it pertains to foundational Black Americans. Got it. Gotcha, coach. Oh, you know we got to do it antithesis, because we're going into the the meat of why we here today. We just got through the appetizer, the scratch on the surface. So before we get there, as my good brother has requested, we got to play the theme song for all these folks.
Send in the clowns.
Family, we got to talk about old Kristi Noem. From, god dang it, deviant to more deviants, ladies and gentlemen. So when Kristi Noem got fired about a month ago, I had questions. I wanted to know what was it that Kristi Noem did to get fired. I thought that it had more to do with this horrible situation right here, where she was basically getting grilled and was asked in front of her husband about banging one of her subordinates. Let's play this, shall we?
Kristi Noem's marriage is under the microscope today after she was fired as Homeland Security Secretary following this disastrous appearance before Congress.
Have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Noem's husband, Brian, sat right behind her as she was grilled about Lewandowski, her top aide. His face was fixed in an angry scowl. Brian Allen, a news anchor in Noem's home state of South Dakota, says the scandal is not going down well with her former constituents.
There's a sense of distaste among the folks in our part of the world when that specific topic comes up.
The Noems have been married for 34 years, and every year on their anniversary, they post this wedding photo. Happy 32nd anniversary to us. I love you, Brian, Kristi wrote in 2024. Now the question so many are asking, can this marriage survive the crisis? The New York Post quotes one of Brian Noem's family members who says he'll stand by his wife. Brian is a Christian man, and he believes that marriage is forever.
Let's talk about Kristi Noem getting fired.
The late night comics had a field day with Noem's fall from grace.
Time to turn in your badge and your cowboy hat and your bigger cowboy hat and your flak jacket and your night vision goggles.
You never know with Trump. He either thinks she's bad at her job or he wants her to be the new supreme leader of Iran. So you don't know.
Noem's replacement, Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin, was as surprised as everyone else.
When did you find out, sir?
A little bit before you guys did.
According to CNN, one reason Trump chose him was because he loves watching Mullin on TV.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
He once challenged a Teamster boss to a fight in the middle of a Senate hearing.
Oh, hold on.
And you know Trump loves that type of degenerate stuff. You are a sitting representative, and you out here talking about I will kick your butt right now. You want to go? You want to go right here? Let's do it right here. Right here. Looking like a bunch of children in the playground. You know Trump would love that. But I digress. Let's continue.
Oh, stop it. Is that your solution, every problem? No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Yeah, so I thought that was the situation. I thought it was because of that horrible situation there, and Trump just didn't like the fact it was making him look even worse than what he was already looking. Because, that's usually Trump's personality. We know. That's his personality. You make him look bad and there's no way to spin it. Yeah, he's going to get you up out of there. That's how things go with Trump. And a lot of people think that, kissing up to Trump is going to save their job. And even though it seems like it would work that way, it really doesn't. Trump will throw you up under the bus even if he likes you. You can love his dirty draws, and Trump will throw you under the bus before he let himself get tossed under it. Don't ever get that confused. Don't ever get that confused. And trust me when I say, I'm pretty sure your boy J.D. Vance is going to find that out real quick by the end of this goddamn term. But I digress, apparently. That was not the reason why, in my humble opinion, we had this situation come out. And shout out to our good brother Torian Reigns. If y'all have not checked out his video on this situation, go and do so, because my brother digs deeper into the details. I'm not going to get that deep into the details. I'm going to play these clips here, and they're going to give out some of those details, but Torian goes deep, and he actually pulls out. We didn't have to think about the numbers on this. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to our good brother. Make sure y'all go and support his channel and support that video as well. Let's go here, family.
A shocking revelation has put Brian Noem, husband of former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, in the national spotlight. According to a Daily Mail report, Brian allegedly led a secret life as a crossdresser. Sources describe a hidden alter ego known as a busty bimbo. The report also claims he paid webcam models up to $25 per minute for private chats, sparking questions about how the story came to light. Axios reporter Mark Caputo revealed that he was contacted by someone about Brian's alleged double life. The source is reportedly an immigrant sex worker, possibly in the country illegally, who may have been motivated by grievances over DHS immigration enforcement policies under Kristi Noem's leadership. Caputo notes that while the identity of the whistleblower is unconfirmed, the information appeared credible enough to warrant reporting. The story raises both personal and political questions. Former President Donald Trump, when asked about the allegations, said he had no first-hand knowledge, but expressed sympathy for the family, stating, "I feel badly for the family if that's the case." Kristi Noem's office described her as blindsided and devastated by the news, highlighting the personal toll of this public revelation. The report landed amid ongoing debates over DHS and ICE.
I'm sorry, family. I'm over here tearing up over here. I just got to ask you, do any of y'all believe that she was blindsided? I got to ask that honest question of all of you. Do any of you believe that Kristi Noem was blindsided? Because I don't. I don't. Like I said, I feel this is some old House of Cards degenerate nonsense.
Enforcement actions, policies implemented during Noem's tenure that sparked nationwide protests and, in some cases, violent incidents. Some analysts suggest the whistleblower may have acted out of anger over these enforcement actions, though authorities have not verified any motive. This revelation also touches on broader themes of privacy and public scrutiny. In Washington circles, questions about personal conduct and accountability quickly become national news, especially when they involve high-profile political families. Despite the shockwaves this story has caused, no official confirmation exists regarding Brian Noem's alleged cross-dressing or online activities.
What? No official what? No official what? No official what? All right, let's let them live. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Investigations are ongoing, and both the whistleblower's identity and the full scope of the claims remain unclear. For now, Brian Noem's alleged secret life remains unverified, but the impact of the report is already being felt, raising questions about trust, privacy, and political scrutiny in high-stakes Washington environments.
Yeah, family. No evidence exists. I don't know what this is then. If no evidence exists, what am I looking at? It looks like he is on his way to a Mrs. Doubtfire reboot audition. This, I don't, family, if you would have told me to put this on my bingo card for 2026, I'd have looked at you crazy. I'd have had to look at you crazy. If anybody would have told me Kristi Noem's husband is going to come out looking like J. Edgar Hoover, on his best night, I would have believed it, but then I would have been like, nah, I don't know. That sounds far-fetched. But at the same time, what is far-fetched when it comes to these people? And as I stated before, these are your Christian value people here. These are your Christians here, family. And they said that she might be illegal. So she might have had an issue with what was going on with ICE. And apparently, this guy here was just telling all the business, was just giving all the tea to her. Or trying to, she wasn't there for that. She shut that down, and that's probably a good thing that she did, because if anybody who's seen House of Cards, when I bring up House of Cards, I mean this in a reference that this is what not just Nabisco culture look like, but this is the culture of freaking DC. You would think this is Hollywood we're talking about. This is DC. This is Washington. This is the Hill we're talking about. The same Washington, D.C. that wanted to make it legal for prostitutes to come in and out of there. This is D.C. I am not surprised. I'm more surprised that he couldn't keep a lid on it. Well, really, I'm not even surprised about that. You always got to watch the people you paying to do dirty deeds with. I'm just saying. Yeah, when that money stopped flowing, you never know what's going to get to going. Shout out to our brother Cosmo Fury in the building, Clayface. That's exactly who he looks like too. That's why I just busted out laughing when I saw that comment, bro. I just had a flashback to the goddamn Spider-Man goddamn universe. Like, when did Clayface want to be abroad? I ain't never knew that. Shout out to Snatch Adams. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, good brother. Makes sense now why they're so obsessed with alpha men. They don't know any. Oh, you saying Trump is the closest thing to an alpha man that they know? That is crazy. They might perceive Trump to be the most alpha out of them all. It's what you're saying. Shout out to our sister Hurricane Nisi. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed in fun. I appreciate your contribution as always, my good sister. Christianity to these folks, nasty. Family, maybe we're the wrong ones. Are we the wrong ones, family? Because, when you look at the Vatican and their little scandals that be going on with their little PDFs there, and then you look into these folks' situations and they claim to be Christians and they all got these little PDF situations going on, or they humping dogs, or they dressing like women. And are we the ones that are looking at the world with spewed eyes? I'm just asking because it just seems crazy. Has the world flipped upside down? we must be the problem. Are we the problem? I don't know, man. This is just ridiculous. This is highly ridiculous. Let's go here, family.
After being removed from the DHS secretary post by U.S. President Donald Trump, Kristi Noem has now found herself in the midst of another shocking controversy. Brian Noem, husband of Kristi Noem, apparently led a private double life, engaging online with adult entertainers, according to a Daily Mail investigative report. Ben Ashford and Josh Boswell led the investigation, where they verified whether the photos that they received were fake or AI generated. But they claimed that experts ruled out the possibility based on the metadata. Reports claim he used a cross-dressing persona while communicating with fetish models and women in niche online communities. The revelations come as Kristi Noem, who held a high-profile national security role as DHS secretary until Trump ousted her a month ago. Brian Noem allegedly expressed explicit admiration for adult performers and made personal remarks about his marriage, according to reports. Security experts warned that such behavior could pose potential risks, including vulnerability to blackmail. In a shared selfie that is going viral, Brian Noem appears in a crop top and pink shorts, using balloons under his shirt to imitate breasts. Brian Noem acknowledged explicit chats in a conversation with the Daily Mail and photos, but denied making comments that could pose security risks. However, he rejected claims of endangering national security before ending the call. A spokesperson said Kristi Noem is devastated, the family was blindsided, and they request privacy and prayers. Amid the controversy, her previously reported ties with Corey Lewandowski, a key advisor to Donald Trump, also came under scrutiny by lawmakers during a House hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Secretary, for joining us. Finally, you are in charge of protecting the homeland. And so your judgment and the judgment of your senior staff can be the difference between life and death. So I think that judgment would need to be unassailable. Why then, is the question, have you made Corey Lewandowski your de facto chief of staff who possesses an unchecked level of power at DHS? Under your leadership, this person has done things like fire your FEMA administrator while sitting behind your desk, which is your job to do, lobby to build the controversial detention facility known as Alligator Alcatraz, which has turned into a legal boondoggle costing Florida millions, and have veto and reviewing and signing power over large DHS contracts and grants, which again is your job. DHS has critical agency components like the Secret Service, FEMA, Border Patrol, cybersecurity. So does Corey Lewandowski have national security experience, military experience, law enforcement experience? No. He is a lobbyist, a failed campaign manager, which is causing my constituents who are waiting for their FEMA dollars and me to wonder what are his qualifications for this job. So according to the Wall Street Journal, you and Mr. L have a close relationship that has made President Trump, quote, uncomfortable. The president reportedly denounced Corey Lewandowski as your chief of staff due to reports of a romantic relationship between the two of you. So instead, you designated him as a special government and employee, a position he has had well beyond the allowed 130 days and requires him to disclose if he is making money off of his position. Trump knows that this guy is shady. Corey has a decades-long record of physical battery, sexual harassment, illegal lobbying for a Venezuelan oil company, and bringing a loaded gun into a federal building. Despite being fired or removed from virtually every position he has ever held due to misconduct, he now wields unchecked, unconfirmed, undisclosed power over your department. This person has no experience running anything close to Department of Homeland Security or even advising someone in your position. He is unqualified, which again has left my constituents and I wondering why he is your top official. So Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming my
Ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming my
As an
time,
advisor,
Secretary, it is
has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be making
question.
any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
Has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up your
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do
question
at the Department of Homeland
clearly
Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
every single day is to protect
If
this
someone
country,
is
to
asking
make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage
because it is not about
is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has been
about
refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself.
recognize-
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know it is about your judgment and decision-making. It is about the 260,000 employees that work under you that want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland. And DHS has circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly without any sort of cloudiness. And that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who was confirmed.
I gotta pause this here. Shout out to Miss T. Phillip Davis. She said that's why she was blindsided, too busy getting down. No. That's my point, my sister. It isn't the fact that she was blindsided. I do not believe that. I believe that she was probably getting down at the same time in the same room while he was on the damn video camera over there doing his little, Dolly Parton, best Dolly Parton routine. She was in the bed right there next to him getting down with dude. When I say this is a house of cards situation, in my opinion, I mean that fully. These people really be getting down like that. That's why I'm saying, like, I do not believe whatsoever that she was sidelined by any of this. If anything, she was right there watching the whole situation going down, but she did not expect for that information to get out. Shout out to our sister Rosemary in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as our good sister. I see you in here. Our good sister Black Spider in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen. And thank you for being here as well. Her spilled all the tea. All the tea got spilled. And this is my point. She wasn't blindsided. She was right there turning a blind eye. She seen it in her peripheral vision, and she just decided to concentrate on the person in front of her at the time. That's what I honestly feel. I think, I assume, I believe. Oh, shit, that would be mess. She probably leaked it. Because she was in a hot seat about the misappropriation of funds and having sex on jets with employees. You are absolutely correct. That could be another thing right there. I didn't even think about that angle. This looks better on her end than it does of her being called out for the misappropriations of funds and sleeping with her subordinates. That's a good point. Good damn point. She encouraged him. She was over there, his biggest cheerleader. If this is your true self, honey, just go ahead and be the woman that you want to be. I'll even buy the balloons for you. I seen them on sale at the local Hobby Lobby. I'll pick them up for you on my way home, honey. What size of tube top do you wear? Oh, 2 times I wear. Okay, you're right. Yeah, because I'm pretty small here, pretty petite. I can't just give you one of mine, don't you know? Byron went window shopping on Kristi's side of the closet. He's like, what? This bitch does not even know how to wear this. I'm going to wear this the way she needs to wear this today. And I'm going to put these pumps and heels with it. Yeah, she ain't never seen these. She never wear these red heels the way I was going to wear them. So let me go ahead and do my little stroll, don't you know? She over there helping him get ready for every goddamn live stream he about to do. Nah, honey, you wore my white blouse the other day. You stressed it out. Well, you letting that man stretch you out, so I think we're even. All right, honey, go ahead. Wear whatever shirt you want to wear. She brought him back that Jason Collins throwback jersey. Family, you can't make this up. This is just not right. The alphabet soup group in effect. Absolutely. And I got a theory that I'm going to show y'all in a little bit too. I got a theory. I got to show y'all the theory in a second. Let's let her continue.
That's what this is about. Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars and not having a secretary who's compromised in her decision-making. And Mr. Chair, before I yield my time, I would like to enter into the record some articles, and I'm asking for unanimous consent. Noem tightens her grip on DHS. Lewandowski fired FEMA admin.
Without objection.
Okay. The next one is Kristi Noem secretly took a cut of political donations from ProPublica.
Without objection.
Kristi Noem fires pilot over a blanket, but is forced to reinstate him to fly home. Wall Street Journal.
Without objection.
Lewandowski taking out trash at Noem's D.C. home. Daily Beast.
Without objection.
Barbie's Mile High privacy chamber with alleged lover exposed. Wall Street Journal. How Corey Lewandowski became Kristi Noem's gatekeeper at DHS.
Without objection.
A pilot fired over Kristi Noem's missing blanket and the constant chaos inside DHS. Wall Street Journal. Police charge Trump campaign manager with assault. PBS News.
Without objection.
Woman who accused Corey Lewandowski of assault speaks out. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. CBS News. Lewandowski's firm quietly inked deal with Venezuela-owned company Politico.
Objection.
List of U.S. cities raising security amid Iran conflict. Newsweek.
Objection.
Kristi Noem, I have a few more, I'm sorry. Kristi Noem misled Congress yesterday about top aide's role in DHS contracts.
Objection.
Policy number 10271 from ICE. It is an anti-fraternization policy prohibiting romantic or sexual relationships between supervisors and their subordinates. And with that, I yield.
Family? I think these people should just leave us the hell alone. Just leave us the hell alone. Like, you guys don't, you're not, and I mean this in the most sincere manner, you guys don't have any room to stand on anything when it comes down to morality at all. Whatsoever. Shout out to Tariq. He says even the dog is like, look at this punk. Look at this punk. And if any of the history is any indication of what this dog might be thinking, the dog might be thinking, I hope he don't turn that energy towards me. I hope he don't come over here trying to bring that energy towards me, talking about woof woof. He wants to be a woman and he wants to hump on a dog. This is what gets to me. That's probably what the dog is thinking. Like, yeah, we'll keep an eye on you, sir. You are not going to try to bring that thing on this side. Look, if I could be a fly on the wall in the side of the mind of the dog to find out what he is thinking, I am 100% sure that he ain't playing. Not with this. Not with this. I guarantee you, if he turn around one time, the dog gonna run out talking about arr, 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 arr. Oh man. Oh Jesus Christ. All right. Of course, she had to come out and deny everything. So let's go ahead and give her the opportunity.
Former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is responding to allegations involving her husband. She says she's devastated after claims her husband shared photos of himself cross-dressing online. Claims also allege he interacted with people in a fetish community. Noem's team is asking for privacy and prayers. The couple has been married more than 30 years. They have 3 children. Noem says her focus right now is
now family. When you're married for 30 years and all the elders who have been married 30 years, 25 years, 20 years plus, let me know in the chat if I'm wrong. I'm not married. I can't speak from a married person's perspective. But what I can do and what I can say is when you're married for 30 years, wouldn't one knows the ins and out of the person that they're married to by that time? I mean, I ain't married, but I've been in relationships long enough to say, yeah, this isn't something I want in a marriage and walk away. 3-4 years, those are usually the timelines. If I get in a relationship, I'm usually in a relationship for about 3, 4, maybe 5 years, just to see what I need to see. Are you marriage material or are you not? In those 3, 4, 5 years, I tend to learn the person that I'm with. And we're not even married. I know more about them than they tend to know about themselves from time to time in these situations. You get what I'm saying? So I find it incredibly hard to believe that she didn't know, that they didn't have an arrangement, that he didn't know that she was out there banging some other dude. I'm telling you. Shout out to Tori. He said Brian wants to know what it feels like to be a natural woman. Can one or some of the ladies in the chat help him out? What does it feel to be a natural woman? because Brian is dying to know. Shout out to Melrose Radio in the building, my good brother. Thank you for being here, family. Jesus Christ.
On her family and moving forward. She left her post earlier this year after backlash over her handling of immigration and border policy.
Miss Niecy said, I was married, but I don't have no advice for other married couples happily content being single. I get it. I'm just trying to figure out, if you're with somebody for that long, how do you not know everything about them? How do you not know if something is weird in the relationship? You know, and there's a lot of people that have that intuition, right? When somebody in the relationship is cheating, right? Because a lot of the times the person to start doing things that they wasn't doing before, you know, or some people would, you know, be able to see that this person is now, you know, he never wore cologne before. All of a sudden now, you're putting on cologne every day. Or, you know, oh, she talking about she going out with her homegirls, but she, every time her phone rings, she put the face down as if that ain't her homegirls calling. You know, there's telltale signs, especially when you've been with a person for over 30 years. 30 years. Our good brother Antithesis says, I've been married 32 years. Okay, so we got some experience in here. Stuff like that does not go down without prior knowledge. That is my point, my good brother. 30 damn years. That right there, you had to be okay with it. You had to have a handshake agreement. You both had to have a nod to the head to the other. Hey, yeah, you do this, I'll do this, and we could even be in the same room together. You don't even have to leave the house. Oh, let's go over here to what Skeletor finally said something that was funny. So I got to give him his props on this. Let's go over to what Skeletor had to say.
I know what you expect me to do is discuss the matters concerning Senator Lindsey Graham, or South Carolina, and Mr. Noem, the husband of Kristi Noem, who has broken up tens of thousands of families and is now asking for sympathy for her family. I think we should all feel sorry for her, but I just can't fuck with Mr. Noem and Senator Graham. Now, I would just suggest this, that they have a cross-dressing contest, and they can bring the magic wands and the bras and the panties or whatever they want, and maybe we can have a contest. And my suggestion for a referee or a judge would be Mike Johnson, but that's just a suggestion.
Oh, they gave James what he wanted. He's been waiting on that moment. That was James' moment right there, and he did not disappoint. He said, you know what? Just go ahead, get Senator Graham. You take Senator Graham, have a little show off with him and Brian, and, you know, let's just get that over with. Oh, that's the first time I've ever found anything he had to say hilarious like that. Besides when he melted down over Donald Trump and having Trump derangement syndrome. But that was for a whole different reason. Exactly. The magic wand, straight up filthy. Oh, man, I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. Democrats have him stressed. Hey, he's taking whatever win he could get. But family, when I say these people have no room to talk to us about morality whatsoever, I mean that all of this degeneracy, this is something that they do. This is what happens. This is their culture. This is a part of their culture, in my opinion. Family, I found out about this. And for those who don't run around humping on their dogs, there are actually people who go around pretending to be dogs and humping on each other. I introduce you, in case you've never seen these people before, to the furries. When I say this is some Nabisco shit, this is some Nabisco shit. If I ain't ever, man, here we go.
Hero was a main character in the leaks because of his profile in furry fandom. Individuals like myself had found his alter account called Dogman2.
We identified that that's Hero the Wolf.
Hero's a YouTuber, so obviously everyone's just going to focus on him, but he's not the only one.
There were so many other people still active.
There's a whole list of people who are involved, and they're all furries, obviously.
We have to sort this and figure out how we can actually report this to police and get some real investigation happening.
But then someone posted a video on social media.
These videos are extremely graphic and disturbing. I do not recommend watching them. As part of the original call-out of the zoo sadists, a collection of videos was released as evidence of their activities. The first one involves a person in a fursuit forcing...
They did horrible things to this duck and recorded a video to trade with each other.
Family, when I tell you, I was in tears when someone told me what furries were. I was in disbelief when someone told me what furries were. I am right now struggling to explain to you what we just saw. So I'm just going to leave that at that. And shout out to our brother Toria Rain. Isn't that what Nick Fuentes is into? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. And if Nick is watching this, you know he's at home punching air right now.
Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch!
You know he's punching air right now. Like, how dare you put out my private business? Oh, Jesus. Family, when I say these people cannot talk to us, you do not have the seat to sit at the table with me to talk about morality. I mean that tenfold. I mean that 100% fold, family. I also have this theory that I have to tell you guys about. So we know the theory that our good brother Nelly Fuller Jr., and I call him Dr. Nelly Fuller Jr. because, like I said, when it comes to this system of white supremacy, we got doctrines because of this. As our good brother said, white supremacy like to take all sides of the argument. So thinking about that, with that in mind, if you take what Brian was doing and is doing, or was caught doing, allegedly, if you take what you're seeing here, and you take what you're seeing here, could these closeted conservatives be the very same people that be out there dressing up, fighting for and waving their fists, mad at the world about LGBTQ rights? I'm going to play this clip and you guys let me know. What do you think?
Why can't I exist as my true self right now? That's not your true self, that's fine. You don't think this is my true fucking self? What the fuck is your true self? You fucking ignorant piece of shit! Is your true self being a little fucking pussy who's shorter and you don't think to care about how they are? What? Oh, you don't like coming into people's spaces and getting them uncomfortable for being their true self? You don't like when people fucking do that to you? Then fucking learn and do that somewhere else and stop coming here, you fucking piece of shit! Alright, man, I love you. I'm not a fucking man, and you don't love me. If you love me, you would put this fucking sign down. You would go walk, and you would thank everyone for being here authentically, as opposed to telling them with the fuckhead sign that they need to fucking convert and no longer exist. Stop fucking ruining pride for fucking everyone. You want to learn what Jesus said? Okay. Love your neighbor as yourself. Why do you not love trans and queer people as their authentic selves? Okay. So why don't you love us as our authentic self?
I don't know if you're looking for answers, so I can't give one.
Take a couple steps back. You guys can talk about it, but just take a couple steps back and bring it down a couple notches.
I don't think I want to talk to you. I'm looking for an answer. So I can't
You're wondering if you had an answer. You don't have one because you don't believe in our true existence. And if you don't believe in the existence of people that tried, stay the hell away from them. Learn to be ignorant.
But look at the one's angry, right?
Of course I'm angry because I can't get health care. I can't get housing. I can't get an interview, let alone a job.
So that's
because you're literally making it illegal for me to exist. Family, I got to know, are these just conservatives and drag who are out there acting like this? Because I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I wouldn't be surprised if little Nicky Fuentes had a little wig in his closet and a nice little flimsy dress and a skirt where he can just go toss it on, and he put on a little bit of makeup, and he goes out to the streets and he acts like, instead of Nick, he be acting like I don't know, Nikki. Oh, the clown music in the background made it perfect for this video. I agree. Like I said, I am not going to put it past them. They sit there and they wag their finger at them, and then at the end of the day, we all know what be going on in the TPUSA events. Yeah. That was another great thing that our good brother Torian brought up on his live. That goddamn that Grindr app goes off crazy whenever they have these kind of events. So it would not surprise me one bit to find out that, these conservatives are the ones that are really out there dressed like this, calling for that type of attention. But with that being said, family, we got to move on to the next loyalist who found out that being loyal isn't really beneficial to her. Because Pam Bondi has been dropped. Oh, she's been dropped as well. And Trump is trying to do the little political situation. Yeah, we're going to move her to a different location. And I was interested in wondering why she was dropped as well. So we got a few clips here. Let's get into them, shall we?
By his side one day,
Attorney General Pam, my friend Pam Bondi,
sacked the next. After weeks of speculation that the president was souring on his attorney general, Donald Trump posted, "We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much-needed and important new job in the private sector." Pam Bondi had been under pressure for her handling of the Epstein files.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
The president's usually reticent chief of staff, Susie Wiles, later told a magazine, "I think she completely whiffed. There is no client list, and it sure as hell wasn't on her desk." Contentious appearances before Congress did not help.
Any accusations of criminal wrongdoing will be taken seriously and investigated.
Please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice.
As Attorney General, Ms. Bondi was also pressured to prosecute
family
and investigated.
Please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice.
I think that's right there. That right there is the point in time that Trump said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let her go. That makes them look awful. And it's bad enough that Trump don't want to talk about the Epstein files at all. At all. But these people couldn't even do the due diligence to go and speak to the victims. Hell, you couldn't even make it look like you was doing a real investigation. You couldn't make it look like you were doing a real investigation. That would have taken you a long way. At least. They said, nah, I ain't even going to go and talk to these people. Damn all that. Shout out to Cosmo Fury, the private sector, a.k.a. the Shadow Realm. Yeah, More and more of these people are getting pulled into the quote unquote private sector, don't you think? Think of the Dow. Yeah. Oh. Family, these people, I'm telling you, I am. Oh my God. Think of the Dow. She really said that though. Hold on. We gonna get into that woman there.
As Attorney General, Ms. Bondi was also pressured to prosecute Donald Trump enemies. In a September post addressed to Pam, Mr. Trump appeared to urge more action, saying, "We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility." Mr. Trump's former personal lawyer, Todd Blanche, will now be acting Attorney General. As Deputy Attorney General, he interviewed Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. The convicted sex offender was moved to a more comfortable prison shortly after.
Pam Bondi was loyal to Donald Trump, and under her, the Department of Justice initiated investigations against many of the president's enemies. But he clearly wanted more to be pursued. It seems with President Trump, he often wants more than just loyalty. John Lyons, ABC News, Washington.
Pam. We tried to let you know. Well, technically, we wasn't letting you know. We were just letting the world know that, God dang it, you can like Trump, you can love Trump, you can kiss his dirty draws, and you will still be in the crosshairs when time comes. And it seems that you guys just haven't learned that lesson as of yet. And now everybody, including your goddamn conservatives, your Magites, they're over here. They're putting the dot on you, Pam. They put the air on you. The cursor is on you. Let's go here, family. And listen how they talking about her too. They do not like this woman whatsoever right now. Shout out to M. Hampton in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here.
And what they demand is a federal bureaucracy that doesn't lie to them. And what they demand is that people who tell us that they're going to release the Epstein files actually release the Epstein files, and they're going to make arrests of pederasts, that you actually go ahead and do that. You don't give out binders as props in a stunt, and you certainly don't tell people the Epstein files are sitting on your desk and then force an act of Congress to actually get you to release them. You absolutely don't release an unsigned DOJ memo that was released on July 4th of all dates that say effectively that Jeffrey Epstein was an upstanding citizen, that he never trafficked anyone to anybody to anyone, and that, we're just going to close this whole chapter. The era of trust me, bro, I looked into it, move along, that's done. It's done for Democrats. It's done for Republicans. We don't trust our federal government. You need to show your work. And you could have really done this right. I just want to state, like, for whoever comes in next, how to actually do these kind of things. You need to show people that you hear them, that you trust them. The American public is a forgiving public. We are a moral nation. You need to prove to us that we're not paying taxes to pedophiles. That's like one great, big thing you could do. And the way to do that would
How about that for a starting point?
Not to exonerate Jeffrey Epstein, right? Or anybody who worked with him, but to slowly start releasing things and to just start giving.
I'm glad you feel the same way.
Right. And I just don't know. I've never understand that strategy. I don't get it. I do know why it happened, though. And if you want to know from the inside, I do know why it happened, because I talk to a lot of people at DOJ. It's because they're not tied in. They weren't tied in to the online community that I speak with every single day. They're tied in a lot to cable news. No offense. I love Newsmax. I love the platform. I enjoy going on cable news. But sometimes there's not enough ability to talk about these subjects. And they don't realize that while there's audiences of millions in cable news, there's audiences of billions online. And they are obsessed with the Epstein file. And they're obsessed with understanding what was actually happening there with the Mossad agent or agent of the UK or the CIA or whatever, and the private island and the jet and the princes and the presidents and the principalities and all of the Hollywood stars. And people are very interested in that. And so to just brush that, I mean, that was game over, right? Yeah. So there's a lack of being locked in. You have to be locked in and speak the language of the people. And so that was it. There was the trust deficit.
This is coming from their fellow Magites here. See, MAGA is an Ouroboros, if you will. A snake eating itself. Nobody really got to do anything to MAGA. MAGA is destroying itself from the inside out. All of them. Everything that they do. Every step that they take, every move that they make, it is destroying themselves from the inside out. Anybody that Trump says, okay, you're out of here, MAGA got to make an excuse for. And at the end of the day, you're never really dealing with the real issue, are you? The real issue is your leader. The orange guy, the mutant from Mars. I mean, but the second that Trump says, hey, I'm going to let one of my DEI hires go, MAGA already know what to do. We got to point a finger at them in order to make sure we don't point a finger at Donald Trump. And these loyalists are learning that lesson. They have to learn the lesson. It's hilarious. On the left side, this is how she's getting clowned.
But amazingly, Trump hasn't been firing administration officials all that much because partly most of them have really learned a lesson about staying on his good side. Let me show you how bad it can get. 3 days ago, Pam Bondi was on Fox News making an outrageous claim about Trump's success stopping fentanyl deaths.
Since Donald Trump has been in office, DEA has seized over 21 million fentanyl pills. That's 21 million lives saved, in my opinion.
21 million people. 21 million people. Just for context, 70,000 people died from fentanyl in an entire year. But we're supposed to believe that in 3 months, Trump prevented 21 million fentanyl deaths. I guess a lot more people were planning to try fentanyl this year, huh? Were you guys? Because if everyone's doing it, I'll do it. I'm not a pussy. All right. This audience is pro-fentanyl. Now, to be fair to Bondi, she must have realized these numbers were way off because 2 days later, she corrected herself.
Since he's been in office, DEA has taken 22.2 million fentanyl pills off the streets. This is 119 million lives Donald Trump has saved.
This is how much this woman was going around waxing this man's award. This is how much this woman was going around. Her face was attached to Donald Trump's ass so much her nose was brown permanently. And I love the way that they're calling her out for this. This woman just coming up with random numbers out of the asshole, like out of nowhere.
Since January, pretty remarkable.
Oh my God, 119 million? He saved 100 more million lives in 2 days? Wow. Keep in mind, the entire population of the United States is 340 million. So she's crediting Trump with saving the lives of a third of the entire country. Pam, what are you talking about? Are you on the fence? Because you sound high as right now, okay? All right. But you know what? Bondi sobered up. She checked her math, and she realized something was off again. Because during Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday, she came back and corrected herself one more time.
President Trump, your DOJ agencies have seized more than 22 million fentanyl pills, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives.
258! 258 million lives? What is happening here? At the rate Trump is saving lives, death will cease to exist by August. Man, you gotta love the way she turns to the camera like, are you ready for this, media? No, we weren't ready for that. We were not ready. There was no way anybody could ever have been ready for the number you were about to say. Even J.D. Vance wasn't ready. Look at his face when he hears her say that shit.
Are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day.
That's cold because JD is looking up like, what? What? He's trying to put the numbers together in his head. It's not coming together for him. This is the funniest thing I've seen on Pam Bondi for a minute because god dang it, she's always making this so damn easy. But god dang it, come on. It just details and shows how attached her lips were to Donald Trump's ass. Exactly. That's exactly what he was thinking. Like, what? What you say, bitch? Hold on. Let me do the numbers in my head. You know what I'm saying? The 222 million pills, you just saved 300 million people. No, she's just coming up with all kind of math. Somebody got to do a recount. Exactly. The math just ain't mathing. This is just shout out to Intrigued in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, family.
I've never seen a man blink. What the is this woman talking about? But of course he knows it's bullshit. He went to Yale, right? It's no Harlem University, but they know math. The point is, by the time we're done with the next 100 days, Trump will have saved, and are you ready for this, media? 347 bajillion lives.
Family. Oh, I couldn't believe she was doing that. Just like I couldn't believe her making up numbers was bad, but it wasn't as bad as basically talking about, just look at the Dow when talking about or speaking about the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein case. Let's go here. Like, that's just wild. This woman is almost as wild as Trump.
So I really have just one question for you. How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the way I
ridiculous.
asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
reclaiming my time.
The time belongs.
I think it's very interesting.
My time.
I think it's very interesting
And you can
that
reclaim
he
your
talks
time.
about they indicted. The president said they indicted him twice.
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock and stop the clock and restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these theatrics.
Time belongs to the gentleman from New York. We will give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when you ask a question, the witness gets to answer. You may not like the answer, but she gets to answer.
The question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like the answer, Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest. So he asked a 4-minute question.
Restore 45 seconds,
I am
Mr. Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
I'm going to show you two photos of former Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. Under the law Congress passed, you were allowed to redact photos to protect the victims of Epstein's sex trafficking operation. You redacted the photos of this victim's face because you were following the congressional law. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, that we redacted the victim's
Because you were
face?
following the congressional law, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have now established that please put the photos back up, that we are looking at a sex trafficking victim. Under the Federal Victims Trafficking Protection Act, not only is Jeffrey Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronizes Epstein's sex operation is also guilty of a crime. That's why I find it absolutely despicable that you sought to protect Epstein's clients, like former Prince Andrew. Last July, you closed the case on Epstein's abusers. The July 2025 memo from your Department of Justice stated, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." These two photos, please put the photos back up. These two photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince Andrew. So I ask you, Attorney General Pam Bondi, why did you shut down this investigation last July, and why have you not prosecuted former Prince Andrew?
I don't believe you asked Merrick Garland these questions when he was Attorney General and set before.
I agree with you.
You twice.
I'm reclaiming my time. I agree with you. I agree with you. During the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill Barr, as did Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures. But you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous.
Family, she couldn't even answer the question straight out. It's a no. It's a yes. It is only two answers that you could have given. She had to pause, think of her answer, and then respond with a bunch of deflection. Let's continue. Deflection coming up.
And that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is
She is deflecting while using the word deflect. She is you can't make this up, family. She is deflecting while using the word deflect in her sentence. You're just trying to deflect about the good things that Donald Trump have done in his term. You can't make this up, family.
Or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein.
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got
released.
your answer. You said there's no
President
evidence.
Trump asked
Chairman, please
us
stop the
to
clock.
sign
Please stop the clock.
the legislation. This is
Time
ridiculous.
belongs to the gentleman from California.
There were lots of survivors who had decided, for reasons of their own, never to release their names. That determination was represented to people in Congress, and we built it into our federal law that their names could not be released. And yet you published their names, their phone numbers, their addresses, personally identifying information. If Donald Trump can get $10 billion theoretically from the Department of Justice, how much should these people get for a far worse violation of their privacy rights? And
my brother Chris, man, if she believes that she is the lead character, the main character in Legally Blonde, then she thinks wrong, because at least in Legally Blonde, and this is just from what I understand, because I think I seen the movie once with my sister, but that was my sister, one of her favorite movies. I think Belle was, if that's her name, if I'm remembering her name correctly, I think she was incompetent though. That's what made her a good attorney, is because she was very competent. Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, none of these people are really competent. So I don't think that she would be able to get that main character role there. You dig what I'm saying, brother? Because, you know, you got to have some sort of competence to you to actually be that character in Legally Blonde. I'm just saying, you know.
a far greater danger established to them in their lives.
Their own self up.
Do you even know who Chase Mulligan is? You're so obsessed with, you don't, do you?
I'm going to teach you the rules again. You're the Attorney General of the United States. We have rules here.
Obsessed with him.
You're the Attorney General of the United States.
You're
The rules.
obsessed with Donald Trump. You have Trump derangement syndrome.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like my time
Mulligan will be
restored. I'd like my
sentenced
time
next week
restored.
in your district.
Attorney General can respond.
I find it interesting that she keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history. And if they could maintain their composure, this isn't a circus. This is a hearing. I find it interesting she keeps going after Donald Trump. She doesn't say how much money she took from Reid Hoffman. Did
you? No, Pam. No, see, you're wrong again. It is a circus. And it's a room full of clowns.
Send in the clowns.
And nor
Mr. Chairman, regular order, please.
She
Regular
posted
order.
nothing on her X account, on her Twitter account during the Biden years.
Gentlelady.
And yet now, all of a sudden,
question
she's
asked.
going after
Committee will be in
Point of
order.
There was no
Committee will
question
be in
Shame
asked
on
of the
order.
you.
Attorney General. She doesn't just get to say.
Committee will be in order.
I have a point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Committee will be in order.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Lady can state her point of order.
Attorney General Bondi, at your confirmation hearing in January, made a clear commitment you would not politicize your position. We are here today, your first oversight hearing 9 months into your tenure, at a time when hundreds of career prosecutors have quit because they were required to take unethical actions at odds with that promise, or feared that they would have to take such actions if they remained on the job. When over 1,000 former federal prosecutors have sounded the alarm about the unprecedented degree to which the powers of DOJ are being abused to go after the president's enemies. I approach this hearing with a heavy heart. As a former federal prosecutor myself, I served in a department that, whether it was under a Democratic or Republican president, would never use the office to go after the president's enemies or to hide the corruption of his friends. But today, the Justice Department has been used to cover up the possible corruption of the mayor of New York or of a high-level administration official taking $50,000 reportedly in cash in a bag, or a child sex predator who befriended the president and some of his cabinet members. And instead of preventing partisan weaponization, your department has engaged in a brazenly political prosecution at the president's explicit direction. The department has become President Trump's personal sword and shield to go after his ever-growing list of political enemies and to protect himself, his allies, and associates. My questions therefore focus on these two themes: hiding the corrupt acts of his friends and prioritizing the political prosecution of his enemies. So let me start with the shocking allegations of bribery and pay to play. 2 weeks ago, 4 major media outlets reported that Tom Homan, the president's top deportation official working in the White House, took $50,000 in cash in a bag from undercover FBI agents in September 2024, just over a year ago. According to these reports, Homan indicated he would facilitate securing contracts in exchange for money once he was in office in a future Trump administration. Reportedly, this exchange was caught on tape. Rather than pursue this investigation without fear or favor, the department and the FBI under your leadership or that of your predecessor before you confirmed quietly shut it down. Once news broke, your deputy and FBI director issued a joint public statement confirming that the Trump administration closed the investigation.
Hold on, family. I want to get to the part that I brought this on for. Shout out to our good brother, Reparations Nation. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. He said, what is this, a new format? No. Okay, so look. I have at least 2 lives that I wanted to bring you guys before Sunday, because Sunday I have a topic that I am not going to push back whatsoever. So I really wanted to do this, and I knew that I would be off. Well, basically I would have the afternoon off today, and also on Thursday afternoon I will have off. And so I decided to do the 2 lives on today and then one Thursday. So that's why, it's still, much love, my good brother, much love. Let's go here. Hold on, because I want to get to the part that, give me a second here. Let me remove that. Give me 1 second, family. Because there's clips here. I want the clips. There we go. Let's get into this. Here we go. This woman. I swear this woman is just hilarious. Oh man, let's go here.
Excuse me.
Who's been out there fighting for our country.
Some of the Democratic members of the committee.
Personal attacks. You've been attacking my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been attacking.
We're interested.
Where the?
Whether he took the money. So I'm asking you the question: did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, I answered that question multiple times, and frankly,
Well, I don't think, with respect, I don't think you did. But in case I just didn't hear you, what is the answer? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as Attorney General. I said that.
Do you know, sitting here, whether he
All
took
I
the
know
money?
is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
So
and,
was she?
Senator Schiff,
was she?
if
right?
you worked for me, you would have been fired because you were censured by Congress for lying.
We can stipulate to. You can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
Personal attacks. You've been attacking my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been attacking.
What we're interested in.
Borders are.
What we're interested in is the answer to these oversight questions.
Want your
you were asked by my colleague. You were asked by my colleague.
Attacking good people.
A regular order, Madam Chair. So
family, this must not be the right clip. I must have sent the wrong clip to myself, but I thought I sent the clip of her being asked about the victims, and she went straight over talking about, look at the dial. Like, man, like I said, family, it's no wonder why she was fired. Like I said, she's incompetent. All of them are incompetent. It's just a matter of when Trump decides to roll the dice on getting rid of some more of his incompetence. That's what it is. When Trump feels like you're not moving towards his agenda fast enough, let me get rid of more incompetence. That's all it is. Because Trump don't want competent people around him, because competent people will tell him what's going on around him. Competent people won't allow him to do certain things because it wouldn't be for the good of the nation. They would be speaking in his ear. He's supposed to have a main advisor, who does that. But apparently, I don't know who is his main advisor, but apparently he ain't advising. And if he is advising, if this is what he advising on, then he needs to be fired quicker than Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem was. To be honest with you. So yeah, this is just a example of how there is nobody competent in his goddamn cabinet, and whole damn cabinet full of DEI members. These are all you can call them DEI members. Because Trump made sure that they did not have the expertise that was necessary for these roles. And you can see it in everything that they do. From Kristi Noem to Pam Bondi. God dang, what's his goddamn name? Heathseth, excuse me. Pete Hegseth, excuse me. None of these people. I'm just curious why Tulsi Gabbard even took a job with these people. If anybody has a little bit of competence to him, I would say Tulsi Gabbard has a little bit of competence. I would say that. She just don't have no morals at this time, or her morals were put to the side the second she decided to take the damn job in the first place. But I expect to see her going out next. Because, you know, she did say a couple of things about this war that, you know, Donald Trump, I'm pretty sure didn't like, especially talking about it was handled out of pocket, basically. We'll see how quickly Donald Trump start getting irritated by her. But lastly, speaking of Donald Trump, we got to touch on the dumb shit that he did yesterday. And I have to say shit because that was some dumb shit that he did. Yesterday was Easter. And apparently he woke up, chose extra violence, not just violence. He didn't choose violence. He didn't choose violence light. Nah. He chose extra strength violence, excuse me. Apparently, he has some things to say to Iran on Easter Sunday. Let's go here.
President Trump issued a new threat to Iran on this Easter Sunday. In a phone interview this morning, the president told me that if Iran does not make a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, then the U.S. will blow up the whole country. And tonight, what the president said about targeting civilian infrastructure. Here's ABC's Selena Wang.
Tonight, President Trump threatening to bomb Iran's infrastructure. In an Easter Sunday message, the president issuing a profanity-laden social media post warning Iran will be living in hell if they do not reopen the Strait of Hormuz by Tuesday night. Writing, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one. Trump has repeatedly issued 48-hour deadlines for Iran to open the critical waterway or face attacks on its energy infrastructure, only to delay his timeline. And for days, the president sending conflicting messages, arguing the U.S. can open the strait itself and take the oil, while also claiming it's up to other countries to break Iran's chokehold.
They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on.
Today, the president telling ABC News, if Iran does not make a deal, we're blowing up the whole country.
If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously.
When asked if he's concerned about striking civilian infrastructure, Trump said, the civilians want me to do it, arguing the Iranian people are living in hell. Experts warn destroying civilian infrastructure could be a war crime under international law.
And it absolutely could be. To be honest with you, what he's saying is really just highly moronic. So you're saying that these people are living in hell and you want to make their situation much worse by destroying key infrastructures like their electric grid, like their water treatment factories. So basically you're going to make it tough for them to even survive in a war-torn area, is what you're saying. Yeah, that clearly shows that this isn't about the Iranian people. That clearly shows that this is not about the Iranian people. Shout out to our good brother William Arrett in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, family. They are turning on each other now in real time. Kid Gravity said it would be beautiful. Yep. Yep. And it is 100%, as he said, magnificent.
If it's civilian infrastructure, which of course could affect things like water treatment plants, hospitals, then many would argue that that's not a valid military target and against international law. This might turn the people that we were trying to support against us.
And tonight, President Trump still says this war can be wrapped up quickly, even as he continues to make these new threats. He also has not ruled out using boots on the ground as the Iranian regime remains publicly defiant, warning that any attack on Iranian infrastructure will be responded to in kind. Rachel?
Yeah, big question tonight on if there will be a deal.
Family, this can wrap up quickly. That's just the slogan of this goddamn war, isn't it? Oh, don't worry about it. We're going to wrap this up quickly. We already destroyed most of their bases. We destroyed most of their... don't worry. We're going to wrap this up quickly because most of it's already gone. It's already gone, and it's beautiful. We hit them with things they never saw before, never saw. We hit them with big things. They didn't know we had big things, but we hit them with big things. And now, we're winning this. But don't worry. This war can be over in a matter of days, if not weeks. We're going to end this war quickly. That has been the mantra of this whole situation. But it doesn't look like it, to be honest with you. Quickly, not so much. I got to go over here to Sydney because you know what's happening. They started clowning the hell out. They made that situation into a meme over there. They made it into a freaking meme. Shout out to our brother Drew Lask. Much love to you and thank you for your super chat, your donation. Your Cash App. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Thank God I'm a veteran. Shout out to you, family, and thank you for your service as well. Much love to you, family. Much love. We got to get over to Sydney because they made this into a meme. And, Sydney News, they be getting their little clown on from time to time. Let's go here.
Good evening. It looks a very long way from the proud victory Donald Trump has been bragging about. He's now exploded in anger in a foul-mouthed tirade towards Iran.
The US president dropped the F-bomb and once again threatened to unleash hell on an enemy he claims he's already destroyed. His critics calling it a desperate outburst from an unhinged madman.
The US president seen at his own golf club outside Washington, from where he launched his own shock and awe campaign.
Be warned, the president did not use polite language.
Issuing an ultimatum to Iran.
Open the straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch.
Threatening to bomb the nation's power plants and bridges if it didn't. The president signing off, praise be to Allah, on Easter Sunday.
This is all embarrassing and juvenile, and it's people trying to act like they're puffed up and tough when what we really see from the administration in this war is the absence of a plan.
From one Iranian government minister,
Trump is an unstable, delusional figure marked by a set of contradictions.
Tonight, reports Iran and the US are talking about a possible 45-day ceasefire after Iranian state TV aired this, the burning remnants of American warplanes, appearing to be the only trace left behind by an elite team of American commandos who ventured deep into enemy territory to save one of their own.
It's what we're calling the Easter miracle, or the Easter miracle here in the United States.
On Friday, the American fighter jet was shot down by Iranian forces, the crew ejecting, the pilot rescued after 6 hours. But the weapons systems officer who was in the back seat was missing, Iran with a bounty on his head. US media reports the airman hiked 2 kilometers up a ridgeline, hiding in a mountain crevice. Armed with only a pistol, carrying a beacon and a secure communication device, he made contact with US forces. They launched a complex rescue mission, flying in Special Forces troops, including SEAL Team 6, with helicopters, surveillance planes and fighter jets providing aerial cover. But once they found the missing airmen, 2 C-130 transport planes had become stuck in the dirt of the Sandy airstrip. It was hours before 3 more transporters arrived to fly everyone out. The damaged aircraft destroyed before they left to avoid falling into Iranian hands.
Special Operations Forces, very special mission units, as well as the Israelis assisted with other aspects of the rescue operations.
Donald Trump's new deadline for a deal, Wednesday morning, Australian time. The world left to wonder what the American president will do or post next. In Washington, D.C., Miley Hogan, 7 News.
So that's that. And you know that Fox is going to come out and try to spin it to the best ability. And the fact of the matter is, even they can't spin it too much, but they're basically saying, well, maybe this craziness has actually, worked in our favor because, Donald Trump is actually they're talking about doing the ceasefire. But, what these people aren't realizing and what they're not putting together is that even if there is a ceasefire, this will never, America power around the globe will never be looked at the same again due to the way that Trump has been very impulsive in all that he's been doing with his foreign policy. He's been very impulsive. And this is what I say. MAGA is fickle because their leader is fickle. That is that simple. It is that simple. And the rest of the world must now look at the impulsiveness of the president of the free world, or quote unquote, the free world, the most powerful nation on the globe. And then they must ask themselves, do we wait for them to come for us next? That's what these correspondents from Fox and these Magites and all these other people, they really ain't picking up on. Not only are we looking like the enemy, the villain in this situation, but you're looking like somebody who will just prematurely just attack anybody, even though Iran just did that. So right now, all of the people in the Gulf, they're not just looking at Iran as the impulsive ones. They're looking at America in the very same way. Europe is paying in euros if Iran accepts. This is the beginning of the end for the petrodollar. I don't know about that. Like I said, the petrodollar isn't backed up by any resources. It's backed up by military force. That is the biggest situation when it comes to the petrodollar. It is backed up by military force. And all of this right now, you're kind of seeing that military force at play when it comes to that dollar. Like we got, I don't know. I'm just saying, as long as America has that military, has this military, the petrodollar ain't going nowhere. It isn't. That's my belief. Other people might have different beliefs. I don't believe it's going anywhere. As long as America is the most dominant force military-wise, it'll be fine. That's in my opinion, humbly. But shout out to you for that statement, my good brother. Now, let's go here, shall we?
I want to make sure I got this correctly. Are you saying that the president told you that he sent guns, the U.S. government sent guns to the protesters via the Kurdish, but the Kurdish kept some of the guns?
Correct. The president tells me that the United States sent guns to the Iranian protesters earlier this year. He says we sent them a lot of guns. We sent them through the Kurds, and he thinks that the Kurds kept them. Remember, the president made a commitment to the Iranian protesters who were in the streets of their country earlier this year. Those images.
Oh, yeah, family. I'm sorry. This is the wrong clip, but I'm glad we got to this clip, too. Trump is over here sending guns to these people, talking about, hey, I will arm you. You get up and fight against these people, not realizing, and Trump, you need to realize that these people ain't fighting against the army. They're not fighting against their government, no matter how many guns you send them. You know why? Because they're looking at you and they're waiting on America to do it for them. They saw what you did in Venezuela and they want you to do the work. They don't want to have to lose their lives in this situation. They do not want to lose their lives in these situations, especially when you can have America do the work for them. So you sending guns over to them, whether the Kurds kept it or not, that isn't even a big situation. Because even if the Kurds took it to the people, I doubt that the people would take to the streets, because you're going to have a small militia against a straight up military force. I mean, I would think that I would be a person to sit back and say, well, if America's already doing this, why would I have to go out there and put my life on the line? Why should I have to take up arms when America got all these guns, weapons, and stuff? They want something from us. And we want this guy gone. So go ahead and finish the job. I guarantee you that's what most of them are thinking. They're not thinking about taking up arms. That's a good point. Shout out to William. He said, I thought Donald Trump don't drink or do drugs. It seems like we're finding more out about Donald Trump than we once knew, because he has to be on some sort of drugs to think that you could send some guns over there and it would just pop off. Now, we've heard of things like this happening with America, funding these quote unquote grassroots organizations in different countries to fight against their government. We've heard of these things, but it's one thing to do that with no attachment to what's going on. But it's a whole nother thing when the world have seen you dropping bombs on these people for some time. You done took out the whole top cabinet and you talking about continuing to do things. You think that these folks will say, yeah, you know what, let's go help him free this country. No, they're cowards. That's why most of them run away and come to America, because they don't want to fix their country, because they're too afraid to fix their country. And America has already been made a place where people don't have to worry about being at home to fix their country. Yeah, I just don't think that was a smart move, but let's get into it. Let's let them finish.
We're circulating online of thousands of people who were slaughtered at the hands of the Iranian regime, the current regime that is attacking U.S. forces as we speak. And the president made a commitment on Truth Social to those protesters, and he said help is on the way. And we are learning as a result of this call with President Trump that he attempted to send guns to these protesters in order to fight back and defend them. Remember, these were peaceful demonstrators who were protesting against their government, and they were met with live ammunition from the Iranian regime in the streets of their country. They were slaughtered. And Fox News was talking to people in Iran who were using Starlink, and they were describing these horrific scenes in the streets of their country. And the president, again, told them that support and help was on the way. And so it appears that was the help the president was talking about. And again, as all of this is taking place, now that we zoom out 3 months later, the president is offering the Iranians a diplomatic solution to end this conflict. The same offer that he gave the Iranians before Operation Epic Fury began. Exactly. And remember, we know that at the negotiating table before this operation began, the opening position of the Iranian regime is that we have 460 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, enough to make 11 nuclear bombs. And the president, understanding the country's ballistic missile program and their nuclear aspirations, ultimately ordered this operation.
Family, in his long, drawn-out way, I'll translate it for you. Why? We sent you weapons. Why aren't you guys picking them up and fighting with us? Why? I don't want to put boots on the ground. Y'all should be able to fight for yourselves. This is what Trump is basically telling the people in Iran in the very same way that he's telling the Gulf countries. Why? Y'all should be out there trying to fight for the stray. America don't need the stray. Y'all depend on the stray to be open. So y'all should be out here fighting, even though I started this, and even though y'all said y'all didn't want to be a part of it, but y'all should be willing to fight for the stray to remain open. Why? This is what's happening. This is what's happening. It's a big-ass hissy fit on both sides. A whole bunch of goddamn... Oh, family. Let's go here, family. Let's go here. Because apparently they are talking about having a 45-day ceasefire. And Iran said, no, we don't want a ceasefire. If you're going to come to the table, we want a permanent ceasefire. Damn a temporary ceasefire. We want a permanent ceasefire. And then, and only then, will we open the stray up. Let's go here, family.
Has set the terms and conditions to end the war. This is exclusive information that we are getting for you. Iranian government sources are saying don't want temporary ceasefire, want a permanent end to the war. And as far as Hormuz is concerned, Hormuz pass only after permanent peace. Want US-Israel, no strike assurance. So This is big. Iran has set the terms and conditions. They want permanent solution. They want permanent peace. And only after that will the Strait of Hormuz open. Let me go across to my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary, who's getting us more details on that. So there's an ultimatum given by Donald Trump. On the other hand, Iran has set some terms and conditions. They are saying we don't want a temporary ceasefire. We want a permanent end to the war. That will happen only when you can give us an assurance, along with other things, that US and Israel will never strike Iran again.
Yes, it's a question of trust. And there is enormous trust deficit here. How is Iran going to agree to a temporary ceasefire after nearly 40 days of fighting? And they were the ones who were attacked, is what they're saying. So they want a permanent ceasefire and an assurance that there will not be an attack by Israel or America in the future. And yet only then and only then will the Strait of Hormuz be open. That's the Iranian bottom line. We have to see how President Trump reacts to it, how the Americans react to it, how the Israelis react to it, because this is a very clear declaration by the Iranians. It basically says, well, let's have a permanent ceasefire. If we have a permanent ceasefire, the Strait of Hormuz opens.
Absolutely. Srinjoy, earlier we saw Donald Trump's expletive-laden, expletive-ridden post giving an ultimatum saying that if you do not open the Strait of Hormuz, then America is going to continue to bomb you. And Iran turned that entire statement into a meme fest mocking Donald Trump. But Iran is very serious when it says that we want an assurance that Iran will not be hit again by US and Israel. Only then the Strait of Hormuz is open. Now, it is also very important to highlight here that Iran continuously keeps saying that the Strait of Hormuz is only closed for the enemies. Everyone else has a free pass. And if you want it to open entirely, then you have to agree to our terms and conditions.
Yes, you're entirely right. The Iranians have said that it's open for several countries, the Russians, the Chinese, India, and so on. The point here is also the fact that if the Americans, or Trump particularly, who has spoken about bombing Iran into the Stone Age, now if there are attacks on power plants, refineries, and so on, Iran could do just the same in the Gulf states. They could hit refineries, they could hit oil wells, they could hit desalination plants. And that could be dangerous. Of course, even more dangerous has been the attempts to target nuclear plants, or because whether willingly or not, these missiles or projectiles have landed near each other's nuclear power plants, whether it's Natanz or Isfahan or Bushehr or Dimona in Israel. So as a result, things are very, very uncertain. But the Iranian point is now clear. Let's have a permanent ceasefire and we reopen the strait.
Now, Donald Trump has been saying that strike a deal and strike it fast or else be ready to face repercussions. With Iranian regime or the Iranian authority setting these terms and conditions as per the top government sources in Iran, they're putting the ball back in Donald Trump's court. They're saying these are our terms and conditions. If you agree, then we can have permanent peace.
Yes, undoubtedly. The thing is, a good diplomatic discussions.
Shout out to our good brother Black Truth, Black RU. Iran was tired of being bullied. I don't know how a bully is tired of being bullied. And there's just a bigger bully came along. I see. Okay, there's enough bullies to go around.
Usually happen not in public, but quietly and in a way that there is give and take. If statements are being made and from both sides that you have to do this and you have to do that and so on, then it's harder to arrive at an agreement. If Trump says that, look, we'll bomb you into the Stone Age if you don't do this, it becomes very difficult for Iran to say anything. And similarly, if Iran says that, look, we want this, this, and this, and then you have that, then again, it's very difficult because no one wants to accept that they are the ones who are actually backing down. So as a result, the fact that this diplomatic engagement is happening in public in front of the whole world is making the entire process more difficult.
Absolutely. So Iran has made it clear that yes, we are ready for a deal. If you want permanent peace, then you have to agree to our terms and conditions. Let's see now how Donald Trump, most importantly,
family, basically in long form is what they're saying is they're trying to get this deal done. Iran wants to make sure there's going to be a permanent ceasefire, and either side wants to feel like they got punked into doing it. And the fact of the matter is, this is going to happen. I do see it happening. I do. How long it's going to take to happen? Maybe another week or so. Maybe a couple of weeks. Maybe. if they're really serious about this damn ceasefire. If Donald Trump know that this is a losing battle and he really start to understand it, he might start making the concessions to say, hey, you know, we're going to say this is what we got from you. And, you know, this is what you got from us. And we're going to make it look like we won, you know, but, you know, I could see him doing that. I could see any politician doing it. That's what they do. But what this war is doing, though, is causing a rift within the conservative movement, within the Magites, within your TPUSAers. Let's go here, family.
The U.S. and Israeli war with Iran has caused a rare rift among conservatives, with several influential figures on the right condemning the war in its early days. A recent Pew Research Center poll shows that while most Republicans do support the war, young Republicans appear to be an outlier. Only 49% of those under the age of 30 say they approve of the way that President Trump has handled the conflict. Turning Point USA, the organization founded by the late activist Charlie Kirk, has been key in organizing young conservatives, especially at their signature campus rallies. Our White House correspondent Liz Landers spoke to some of them at one such event right here in Washington last night. So Liz, tell us about the event, who you talked to, and what they had to say.
This was at George Washington University's campus, which is right here in the heart of Washington. This event was a conversation between Erica Kirk and White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt there. TPUSA has become a particularly powerful organizing tool for conservatives and the Republican Party. They have more than 3,500 university campus chapters and more than 300 staffers. So we asked attendees who were in line waiting for the event what they thought about.
Hold up.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt there. TPUSA.
Is Caroline Leavitt pregnant? Oh, good God. We got another one coming into the world. Why? Why? Oh, why? Why? Shout out to our good brother DSB in the building. Much love to you. And thank you for being here. He said, I think Trump would stop playing and agree to a deal after only after America gets hit a few times. I feel like that as well, but I think it'll probably be more of our assets overseas being hit a couple of times over. I think that's going to really put a craw in Trump's goddamn, you know, bussy, I guess you could say. Yeah, I do agree that if they were to start hitting some very important assets overseas, that at some point somebody is going to get it into Trump's ear that, hey, we can't take this type of loss. We cannot be taking these kind of losses. So I agree with you there, brother. I do. Also, a shout out and shalom to our sister Priscilla Taylor in the building, as well as our sister Darlene Chestnut. Much love to the both of you. Thank you all for being here, as well as Kelly Goodman in the building. Much love to you, as well as our good brother Massa Musa in the building. Much love to all of you, and thank you for being here. Yeah, this chick here, she's pregnant. I did not know that. I guess the silver lining is she's going to have to step away from talking for the, you know, White House, I guess.
Has become a particularly powerful organizing tool for conservatives and the Republican Party. They have more than 3,500 university campus chapters and more than 300 staffers. So we asked attendees who were in line waiting for the event what they thought about 1 month into this conflict, this war with Iran. As you might expect, several had the president's back.
I would say I confidently trust the president to handle his agenda and to handle any foreign policy affairs.
But others expressed opposition or even uncertainty.
We don't want them to have immense power that's going to hurt other people, but the way that it went about may not have been the right way of doing it. So I'm very conflicted on, like, I guess the means of participation that we've taken part in.
I aspire to join the Marines myself, and I think it's very good to serve your country, but I don't see this war as serving America's interests, certainly not its economic interests, political interests, social interests.
Family. Do I gotta say it, family? Do I gotta say it? Or would it be mean to say? Would it be mean to say? I'm just gonna say it. Screw it. It is what it is. If it's mean, it's mean. Looking at that last name, Oganda, Agada, yeah, he said, I think I was going to join the military, but I just don't like the way things are moving. Yeah, that sounds like, you're basically saying I was going to join the military until they actually got active. And now I'm like, hell no. You see my last name? Do you see the type of shoes I wear? I wear Air Fleemans. And that might be mean because, he clearly he was born here. Clearly he was born here. But it just also kind of goes to show, the second the situation arises, of course, he does not want to go and fight for it. They don't fight, they flee. Flee, fight. Those are two different F words. But I digress. Oh, okay, cool. Nope, because we all thinking it. Okay, I'm just asking for a friend. You know what I'm saying? I have to. You know what I mean? It's not too surprising to me that he changed his mind. He saw it too on church. The name was a giveaway. That just hit me real quick. Real quick. Not the flea box. The flea box with the pumps. Dang it. He's a fleaman. Okay. All right. Not Air Gordon. Oh, man. Exactly. Fight, flee, two different F words. I understand. I understand now. Exactly. He don't want none. He's like, God dang it. I was going to go up into, the army. I was going to become a Marine. But with this going on, I think not. God dang it. I didn't flee from one location to go into a fight somewhere else. Oh, yeah. It's a one-way mission. He said, I am not going on that side to do nothing. Air Joppas. Flee, not the Flee Force ones. Oh, God dang it. You can't make this up. Continue. Dafa. Descendants of African freedmen. Oh, man. Here I see Umar got his very first member. Shout out to Umar. Go ahead with your bad self. Got you an actual Dafa.
Certainly not economic interest, political interest, social interest.
We need to focus more on the United States first. I think there's a lot of problems that could be solved in the United States before going into foreign conflict. To be honest, I think this was more Israel's fight than the United States.
Onto that last student there, Nassim, he's Iranian American. So he said that this is a complex issue for him. He has complicated feelings about it. But he said that he thought it was good that the Ayatollah was killed. And he said that his family also felt like they had, there was no tears, as he put it, that the Ayatollah had been killed at the beginning of this conflict. But as you heard him say there, he also wants the focus to be back on domestic issues in the U.S. I asked him if this conflict, this war, was going to impact his vote come November. He said probably not, that it's other issues that are going to more personally impact him that he's focused on.
That's interesting. With this being right there in the heart of the GW campus, I know you spoke to other students who weren't there for the event, but who also said that they opposed the war. What did you hear from them?
We walked by two young women who were milling about, walking around on campus in between classes, and they said that they were both unhappy that TPUSA was there and also were in opposition to this conflict with Iran. Take a listen to what Gabby told us.
We're committing war crimes, and it's being used, our dollars that we don't have. We're both full Pell Grant students who are here completely on financial aid. She doesn't have any right now. Mine is being cut. I'm deeply ashamed right now to be an American.
Gabby said that she watched President Trump's speech on Wednesday night, and she said that she was particularly offended by the phrase that he used, that he was going to bomb Iran back to the Stone Ages. She said that she thought that that was appalling.
Well, as you know, U.S. viewpoints on the Middle East have changed a lot over the years. Polls have shown young Democrats are increasingly less sympathetic towards Israel, but they're also starting to show a similar trend among young Republicans. What have you found out about that when you talk to experts?
We spoke with Shibli Telhami. He's a professor at the University of Maryland, and he also has been tracking and polling these issues with young voters for years now. He points to the war in Gaza in 2023 as a real important timestamp for when these shifting views on Israel started to come to more of the forefront, especially with Democrats and also these young Republicans. Listen to what he told us.
We've seen the gap between younger and older Republicans became huge, particularly in terms of justifying what Israel was doing in Gaza. And that has increased of late, particularly with regard to the Iran war, in large part because many of the podcasters and the commentary on the right, particularly the America First movement, have been highlighting the link between the Israeli aim to have war with Iran and the causes for the war, the U.S. going to war.
He attributes these shifts in attitudes for young Republicans in particular to two different things. He says, first of all, it's about the anger of the United States supporting Israel in that Gaza conflict starting several years back. It started during the Biden years, honestly. Secondly, he says that the America First platform, and you heard him talk a little bit about that at the end there, that Trump ran on promoting domestic issues here in the United States and no more foreign war intervention. And that was something that we heard from young people across the political spectrum yesterday, that they believed that Trump had broken that promise, that he would not get the United States involved in any more foreign wars.
Such an interesting look at how young voters are looking at this war. White House correspondent Liz Landers, thank you.
Thanks.
I would have to agree with you, my good brother. White folks saying that they ashamed to be American is the dumbest, most tree-hugging hippie dippity shit you ever say. So dumb. I agree with you 100%, for my good brother. And no, it's not raising the 75. He's being facetious. He's being facetious. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did try to do that. God dang it. You know what? 42 isn't old enough. Go ahead, raise it to 75. You could be 75 and serve your army. So with all that going down, family, you know, Trump has to do something to kind of make it seem like he got a dub. He got a win. There's going to be a concession there. And since they were over there clowning him, you know what Trump said? Trump said, oh, okay. You want to clown me? Well, all of you foreigners, all of you high military ranking people, all of you folks over in Iran that calls America the devil, right? America's the devil to you. Then why are your children in America? So Trump is ending a lot of the statuses of these people's children here in America. Let's go here.
The niece of Qasem Soleimani, the IRGC general the United States killed in 2020, was just arrested in Los Angeles. She and her daughter had their green cards revoked by Secretary of State Rubio for actively promoting Iranian regime propaganda while living a lavish lifestyle in the United States. And if your first reaction is just, well, that's ironic, you're missing the bigger story. There's actually three stories here. The first is what an intelligence professional would call a lifestyle indicator. When the family members of senior regime figures are living in the country that the regime calls the Great Satan, enjoying the freedoms, the economy, the legal protections, while simultaneously promoting that regime's propaganda online, it tells you something about the sincerity of the ideology. This is not unique to Iran. This is a pattern that you see with authoritarian regimes worldwide. The leadership class sends their families, their money, and their real estate portfolios to the West, while telling their own population that the West is the enemy. The ideology is for domestic consumption. The lifestyle is for export. In Iran, their words and deeds are for the glory of Allah, but for the family members, their bikinis are for Instagram. The second story is operational. The State Department didn't just revoke one family's green cards. Earlier this month, they also terminated the legal status of the daughter of Ali Larijani, the former secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. That's two senior regime families stripped of their American foothold within weeks. What you're seeing is the United States systematically dismantling the Western infrastructure of the Iranian regime's elite class. These are the escape hatches, the places where regime insiders park their families and their assets in case things go bad at home. And right now, things are going very bad at home. Think about what this does to the calculus inside whatever's left of Iran's power structure. If you're a senior IRGC commander, you had two plans. Plan A was the regime survives and you keep your position. Plan B was the regime falls and your family is already safe in Los Angeles or London or Vancouver. The United States just closed Plan B. That's not immigration enforcement. That's a strategic pressure operation. But the third story might be the most powerful, and it's not aimed at Washington or Los Angeles. It's aimed at Tehran. If this story is broadcast inside Tehran, and you can bet it will be, it shows the average Iranian citizen something devastating about their own regime. The family of Qasem Soleimani, the man they were told was a holy warrior and a martyr for the Islamic Republic, his own relatives were living it up in Los Angeles and Las Vegas in ways that can scarcely be called conservative or religious. While ordinary Iranians suffer under sanctions and repression in the name of the revolution, the regime's own family members were enjoying everything the great Satan had to offer. That's not just hypocrisy. That's proof of fraud, top to bottom. And remember what we talked about in the last video. Only 57% of Iran's population is ethnically Persian. So you've got Kurds, Azeris, Baloch, Arabs. Nearly half of the country held under a Persian theocracy that demanded sacrifice for an ideology its own ruling families didn't even believe in. When that story reaches those populations, it doesn't just embarrass the regime. It demolishes the moral authority that was the last thing holding that structure together. Keep thinking.
Family, with that being said, with all that going on, I have to echo the words of our good brother DSB, who has just put it in the chat so elegantly. We already did our part, Miss Nisi. They're on their own with their wars. Run FBA our damn money. It is that simple and that damn plain. So, family, I hope that today's briefing, the whole Magite Monday news drop, has been intriguing and also entertaining to you. You know, it's been entertaining to me, to say the least, especially the situations with, you know, Kristi Noem's husband. That right there. Yeah, I got a new box of popcorn because I want to see where that goes. However, family, the main message I want to leave here today is that with all of the deviant behavior that these people exhibit, not one of them has the right to sit down with foundational Black Americans and talk to us about anything. About nothing. Don't talk to us about crime. Don't talk to us about Mike Vick. And that's probably why they lost their damn mind about Mike Vick, because all of them got this in, you know, infinity for their dogs. Just don't talk to us. How about that? How about just leave us the hell alone? And for all of the tap dancing bootlicks that love to bring up Nabisco talking points in order to praise the Nabisco, I only got one thing to say to you.
You's a cool nigga.
And not just that, don't think that you're going to be able to escort your MAGA homeboy into these conversations with foundational Black Americans. Don't think that you can be Brian Daniels, a goddamn Tatum Tots, goddamn Kent Dance Owens. Don't think that you're going to be any of that, because if you try to come through this way with that nonsense, bringing that nonsense over here to us, we're going to quite literally look you in the face and tell you straight up.
Get away from here with your nasty self and take those white people with you. You know how white people smell after the rain, like wet potato chips. Now get out of here.
We are not having it. We're not having it from the Nabisco, and we're not having it from the escorts. Everybody, keep your mouth closed when it comes to foundational Black Americans, because we don't ever hear you talking about your problem with always sticking a goddamn dog's dick in your mouth. Excuse my language. But with that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you hit that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please hit the link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, I will not have no dirty muskrat running around here sleeping with dogs trying to tell me about morality. I will not have anybody who likes to dress up in a furry outfit to pretend to be a different animal, to chase around other people in furry outfits, to go and do hump type activities with them because they're in a furry outfit. Tell me about my morality. I refuse to have somebody who is dressing up as a bimbo and say he wants to be a bimbo and live in bimbo culture to come to me and tell me anything about my morality or talk to me about God or anything like that. You can keep that at home. All of your deviants. I refuse to let anybody who like to touch on children come and talk to me about what I do as an adult when I don't touch on children. Yeah, we're going to put a spotlight on you guys all the damn time when it comes down to this, because we're sick of it. We're tired. And since you want to keep those type of things in your mouth where you sit here and like to downplay and denigrate the black community, what about black on black crime? What about your pedophile community? Well, what about the fact that you all have this infinity with sleeping with animals? Well, what about the fact that you guys, for some damn reason, you guys love to talk about how America is a Christian nation, but yet every time we turn around, you guys are doing something that is unchristian-like. I refuse. And at the end of the day, we have the right to. This is your high IQ. This is your high Christian moral values, don't you know? A B1 salute and shalom to our good sister, Mrs. L, in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. But with that being said, family and friends, enjoy, because I got a feeling within the next 3 days, we're going to get some more comedy. Something's going to hit the web that's going to be funny as hell on both sides. And we'll be back here to discuss it again. Trust and believe that. Now, with that being said, family and friends, the doors of the church are now closed. Thank you all for being here. Thank my mods, my members, my patrons, everyone who donated by Cash App, Super Chat, or anything else. Oh, before we get up out of here, I will not be accepting any more donations to my Venmo. Venmo has done some weird stuff, and I will be deviating away from that platform altogether. So for everybody, I will be removing the Venmo. So please do not send anything over to the Venmo. Now, with that being said, much love to each and every one of you. The doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing, us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm out.